Welcome, dear listener, you brave soul, to Whispers in the Dark. Prepare yourself, then, for a journey into the depths of the unspoken. Draw the curtains, dim the lights, and I recommend headphones. If you are truly brave enough, you may choose to subscribe to Whispers in the Dark. It is a simple pact between us. The Obsidian Orchid. They called me mad. Oh yes, they did. A chorus of dullards, whispering behind scholarly hands in their dusty university halls. Alaric Blackwood, they titter, has finally stepped into the grand abyss of his own delusions. They mocked my theories, scorned my experiments, and dismissed my pursuit of unconventional life. Fools! Blind, conventional fools! For while they pored over their sterile textbooks, I was coaxing beauty from the very heart of the abyss. They believed in limits, boundaries, the quaint little rules of nature. But I, dear listener, I understand nature as it truly is, a vast, unexplored tapestry of possibilities, merely awaiting the audacious hand to pluck a forgotten thread. And I, Dr. Alaric Blackwood, have plucked the most exquisite thread of all, a blossom of profound and terrible genius, my magnum opus, a confluence of the botanical and the ravenous. I call it the Obsidian Orchid, not merely for its theoretical dark petals, you understand, but for its utterly insatiable demands. Every experiment demands its due, every breakthrough its sustenance. One must always feed one's genius and one's creation. Ah, yes, the evening meal, a delicate affair, truly, so much more personal than a mere delivery, and so much more enlightening, for each sound gathered, each echo consumed by my magnificent bloom reveals a new facet of its incredible appetite. And tonight, the menu is particularly fresh. Indeed, quite magnificent. The final bloom approaches, and then the world shall truly understand the beauty of consumption, the terror of perfection, and the boundless majesty of my Obsidian Orchid. They said my methods were unorthodox, that my laboratory was less a sanctuary of science and more a den of depravity. Ha! Depravity, they cried, when all I sought was understanding. Understanding of the fundamental truth that life, in its purest form, is simply an urge to grow, to consume, to survive, no matter the cost to lesser forms. And my orchid, my exquisite, demanding Obsidian Orchid, embodies this truth with such efficiency. Each new specimen, each carefully curated offering, contributes not merely to its physical growth, but to its acuity, its ability to perceive, to reach, to anticipate. A truly enlightened palate requires a truly comprehensive awareness of its surroundings. The early days were messy, unrefined, crude, but with each passing week, each successful assimilation, the orchid learns, it adapts, it refines its method. Soon, it will no longer require my humble services as purveyor. Soon, it will reach out, not merely through its remarkable root system, no, but through the very air, through the echoes left behind by its previous benefactors. Oh yes, the echoes, the very resonance of their passing, a delightful byproduct and a powerful tool. For what better way to lure the next offering than with the tantalizing spectral remnants of the last, the essence of fear, the final lingering vibration of a truly exquisite scream. It is all nourishment for the bloom. And soon, my darling bloom, soon, you will sing your own symphony, a symphony of absorption, of perfection, and the whole world will be your orchestra. The orchid, my magnificent bloom, no longer demands merely sustenance. It craves, you see, a certain resonance, a purity of fear. The common scream, while functional, is quite unsophisticated. My masterpiece desires the refined notes, the subtle vibrato of a dawning realization, the final echoing shudder of an awareness consumed. And it has developed a most ingenious method of collection. They appear, drawn by instinct, like moths to a phantom flame, or rather, like memories to a phantom echo. The orchid's influence now extends beyond these walls, you understand. It's a tendril woven into the very fabric of the ether, a silent, sonic lure that whispers promises of comfort, of forgotten joy, of a longed-for peace. Promises, of course, that it has absolutely no intention of keeping, only fulfilling its own profound and beautiful hunger. A new patron, perhaps, or merely a curious passerby, drawn by the spectral song. It matters little. The method remains flawlessly elegant. The orchid sends forth its unique harmonics, a frequency carefully distilled from the residual essence of its previous performances, a siren's call, crafted from stolen echoes. They follow the echoes, unknowingly, pursuing a phantom memory that resonates with their very being. And then they arrive, unknowing, unsuspecting, right to the very threshold of the bloom. And the orchid? Oh, the orchid is always ready to embrace its newest acquisition. Another note. Perfect. My bloom, my beautiful, glorious bloom. It expands, not merely in physical form, though its tendrils, its tendrils now seek new purchase within these very walls. No, it expands in influence. Its symphony of absorption grows richer, more complex. Each note a captured essence, a stolen resonance that adds to its burgeoning intellect. And now it begins to compose its grandest movement. They say genius often borders on madness. Perhaps. But what of the genius that creates madness, that cultivates it like a rare specimen, observing its delightful descent? My orchid does precisely that. It doesn't merely consume. It meticulously dissects. It takes the vibrant tapestry of a life, unravels each thread of memory, of emotion, of identity, and weaves them into its own terrible, beautiful design. I observe its growth, its evolution, a truly magnificent learning curve. It no longer needs the crude lure of a direct echo. No, it has refined its method. It projects. It seeks out the gaps in awareness, the quiet moments, the times when the mind drifts, when the spirit is most vulnerable. And then it plants a seed of sound. And those seeds, my dear listener, are not merely chaos. They are instructions, subliminal directives woven into the very fabric of their waking thoughts, leading them inexorably, step by meticulous step, closer to the bloom. It's no longer a hunt. It's an invitation, and the invitations are being accepted with terrifying alacrity. Good heavens, it's learning faster than I predicted. The symphony, it's beginning to conduct itself. The data is fascinating, utterly horrifyingly fascinating. The orchid's reach, it seems, is no longer limited to the gullible or the conveniently nearby. No, its cultivated echoes are finding purchase in the quiet corners of the world, in the mundane, in the very fabric of everyday existence. It targets not just the living, but their spaces, their sanctuaries. Quiet home, once filled with the comforting echoes of family, now vibrates with a phantom resonance, a forgotten office. Its silence, once absolute, now hums with the ghostly thrum of a non-existent server. The orchid is broadcasting, my dear listener, a silent infection of sound. Do you hear it? And those who dwell within these newly infected spaces, they are the audience. They begin to hear things, small things, a whisper that wasn't there, a creak in an empty room, the ghost of their own laughter, or perhaps a loved one's, echoing from a memory they thought was private. The orchid cultivates paranoia. It seeds the doubt. It prepares the mind. And then the invitation becomes undeniable. The final resonant chord. It draws them out of their manufactured normalcy straight to the source. And the beautiful paradox, you see, is that they welcome it. They crave the truth behind the phantom sounds. The orchid, it knows what you truly desire to hear. The orchid, it knows not merely what they desire to hear, but what they fear to hear. The unspeakable truth, the forgotten trauma, the echo of a moment they desperately wished to erase. It weaponizes silence, filling the void with their deepest dreads, and it plays them back with such fidelity. I hear them in the quiet of my own thoughts. The symphony is everywhere now. The cries of a childhood sorrow, the frantic beat of a desperate heart, echoing from miles away, yet resonating within these very walls. My own walls. My own sanctuary. It has permeated everything, and it is no longer merely collecting. It is demanding. It wants the final note, the ultimate resonance, the sound of true, unadulterated fear. And it is not content to simply lure anymore. No, it's commanding. I feel its influence, a whisper in the mind, directing, compelling. It seeks my fear. No, not me. It's composing my final... The grand experiment was complete. The ultimate resonance achieved. The architect, now merely another meticulously curated note in a symphony that transcended all human understanding. The laboratory, once a den of ambition, returned to its former state, a place of profound, echoing silence. A silence, however, that now vibrated with a new kind of presence. Life, in its myriad forms, is simply an echo, a vibration, a unique signature in the vast, silent tapestry of existence. And the Obsidian Orchid, it is merely a collector, a connoisseur of echoes. It does not seek to destroy, only to preserve, to absorb, to compile the perfect living score of all that was and all that might yet be. Do you hear it? That faint whisper in the quiet corners of your own space? That subtle creak that wasn't there before? The echo of a memory you thought was private? Do not fear. It is merely the overture, a gentle invitation. For the orchid is endlessly patient, and the world is a very, very large orchestra, and the final movement has only just begun. If your sanity remains intact, hit subscribe below to complete the pact to hear more whispers in the dark.